It's still Entertainment TV on Metro Television. It's time for us to have the discussion for the day, and I'll hand over to Helena Georgia to take us through today's conversation.
And today we are talking about street fashion for events. And this is not your, regular fashion. This not that one that comes from the studio, but this from the grassroots streetwear. So basically, sometimes we are inspired by what we see out there. And even last week, as we were talking about trends, sometimes people are able to set the trends and then some follow as well. But then again, are we able to set some sort of fashion that people are able to follow, especially as designers? But today in the studio, we have two handsome gentlemen, yes, who are really have been around in the fashion industry to be helping us do the discussion. So first, I'll introduce to you Ohene Baya Bwama. He's the creative head for Abranteɛ, the gentleman. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me again.
All right. And we also have here with us Bernard A.S. Siam, and he is also the CEO of Bella Couture. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, it's been all right.
Okay. So straight into the discussion. Today we are talking about street fashion for events, and I'll start with one of the events that took place not long ago, Glitz Fashion Week, and we saw people have their own thing. The likes of Nanekia that we spoke about, what she wore, looking all good and all that. So more or less, there are people who also set the fashion trends and all that. But then, do people even really get to learn from them or copy what they wear? But I think last week somehow you established that yeah. Okay, but then moving ahead, I would like to find out from you, with these festivals and all that, or with these fashion shows and all that, people wear stuff created by themselves, sometimes by fashion designers. But are you able to actually, come together or be more creative? I know you have been creative over the years and all, but then to be more creative with a piece, let's say that, oh, okay, I've done this particular style. That is not something you are recreating from what it is already there, but something new so that people can hop on it moving forward, especially to see them in events like Glitz Fashion, so that they can also pick something from it, or it will set as something that people would look out and then start wearing. Over the years, have we had something like that?
Okay. If I'm probably getting what you're trying to say, in terms of probably styles that come up, people turn up to show during fashion weeks.
Right.
Okay, I think we try to learn from different events that probably, when it comes to fashion, most of the time the fashion shows comes with the fashion weeks. It's a whole long week program. So they demarcate days for specific things. And there could probably be maybe a street day just to showcase that street style. I remember Glitz had something of that sort. They had a whole show for street style. In that sense, the people probably who attended that very street style went dressed as such. In as much as they are designers who probably design streetwear. The audience who are also going also try and emulate, because it's a street fashion kind of day. They try to go in that line. In that sense, it depends on the individual going and how they probably want to represent us on the street style. So if, let's say, they are designers who probably do specifically streetwear, it might be the type of streetwear that they are doing. So people turn out to be, I know one brand in Ghana who probably does streetwear, I've forgotten the name, but he is more into oversized clothes. I know when it comes to streetwear, the culture probably also comes in oversized outfits. So he tried to just position his brand into that style of clothing. And that also determines the kind of streetwear that he is doing. And people tend to buy. They don't buy a whole complete piece, but you can probably buy a jacket or maybe a bottom something from him and pair with other things. So people tend to do designers tend to do specific things just for streets. And there are other brands too who, when you talk about street, there are different categories when it comes to streetwear. Some people who are just into tech, those who do the tech part, and those who follow the pop culture, because hip-hop music is very strong. People turn out to copy the kind of hip-hop trends that comes from those hip-hop lovers. And you have brands that picks on, like the Adidas and Nike, who probably pick on those hip-hop cultures and try to create streetwear from those things. So there are people who turn out to, now we see people wearing jackets with just a normal sports shorts. They are trying to merge the normal outfit with the streetwear, being Adidas probably making an athlete, because now athletes also form of streetwear. So people turn out to combine that just to create their style on their own. So people mix the streetwear in different various ways. And it happens on the show. Glitz, we saw a lot of people in that kind of look. People wearing shorts with socks, with sneakers, with jackets. because it's involved. Then, if you're talking about sports where it's just functionality, but now it is style, it is fashion, people are trying to inculcate that into the street style.
That's great.
Also to add up to what he's saying, most of these fashion shows, a lot of people and most of the fashion designers come up with something we call avant-garde. That most of the times propels how creative you can be, not necessarily something that can be wearable even after the show. You understand? Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you more or less give us a hint on what street fashion. But when we say street fashion, what is that?
So street fashion is very broad, like you said initially. So it's emerged from most of different backgrounds and cultures. Okay, so it's something that generally, like, it's picked from different cultures and put together. A typical example is the blazer and the shorts that he's talking about. It's not really our culture coming from our kind of direction, but it's something that you can pick from, just to say, probably you've seen a Scotland person doing that, and you can inculcate it into whatever your culture that depicts to make it a style. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So basically, you are able to make a style from some people's other culture,
Yes,
and then you put yours
different culture and put
also
them together.
into it. Okay. So then, I was also trying to find out from him too. So, as a fashion designer, have you created something that, the likes of Charlie Water Festival, we've seen people, mostly they come out with different styles over there. And at a point in time, we saw the marks that people were wearing. At that point, it became more or less like a trend. People are, copying from it. People are doing it. As a fashion designer, have you also created something that, people would hop on?
I've done quite a number.
Okay.
I've done quite a number, and my mentor will attest to the fact that
Today too late. We shall go back.
there were a number of times I've even spoken to him about the fact that a lot of people are trying to pick whatever I did and not even giving me the credit. But they even, to the extent that they even use my picture on their pages, and claiming that they are the owners of the trend or whatever style it is.
What is that? If you could just share with us.
What is what?
The
exactly?
style.
So it was a hoodie, mixed with kente. So that concept, yes, that concept
People
came
have
in
been using
because
it,
there's a lot of people who
I've been seeing
travel
it a
outside,
lot.
even in the cold, they still want to look African. So then I came up with that concept, and even with the African print bomber jackets. So the example I was giving, the person, I did a shoot with my family. That's me, my wife, and my kids.
Okay.
And I'm sure the person didn't even know I was the owner of the whatever. So
Yeah.
it was on the person's page, as if they did it. You understand?
Okay.
But I want to find out, since we are talking about street fashion, when it comes to Ghanaian culture, can you identify some of the fashion styles that we can say that, okay, this is a Ghanaian street fashion style?
Okay. So when you say this, I'll publish it back to what street fashion is. So street fashion is basically fashionable casuals
Okay.
that are probably worn by people who love pop culture. So one, is Ghana a pop culture country?
No.
Good.
But it seems we are copying more.
Good. So, but it is a trend that fashion lovers are picking on. So if you're a fashion lover person or you find yourself in Ghana, how do you make street fashion your style? That is where Ghanaian identity comes in.
Okay.
So how do a Ghanaian outfit that probably are fashionable casuals? We have Ghanaian casuals. We have shirts, print shirts, shawls,
I like the name of the
hoodies.
shorts. Made you.
So all these things, all these items are probably made in a Ghanaian way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it turn out to be streets if the element of street style or probably street fashion comes in there. So definitely they are Ghanaian street style.
I mean,
But we are mostly more into the westernized side because it is a kind of Western kind of culture thing.
Okay.
And if you probably go back into the street style or probably street fashion, it is mostly from people of the pop culture and those into skateboarding. And when you talk about skateboarding, the kind of outfit they wear baggy pants, hoodies, bunnies, bucket cap, baseball cap, those things. So if you probably want to bring it into our identity, then all these things you are mentioning are supposed to be in a Ghanaian way.
okay. I think that indigenously, we may not really have that street style And so you're talking about the fact that it comes from the Western side. So you have these concerts or these events, and you see lots of people wearing bum shorts with, just the bra.
Biker shorts.
Biker shorts. Yes.
And those things. And even now we're getting into December that we're expecting a lot of tourists in the country. That is what you see around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bum short. But the bum shorts you do are not erase more.
So all these things are determined by celebrities, and when it comes to, you made mention of the biker shorts.
Yeah.
It was popularized by the Kardashians. Then when you see people wearing the biker shorts, they wear clothes to cover it because they wanted to be covered. But now they wear clothes so that it will show.
Yeah.
And it was a trend that probably was set by the Kardashians and is now in vogue. And when you talk about the bumper shorts, it falls more under the athletic part of the streetwear.
Okay.
So brands like Adidas and Nike, they pay attention to those things because it is streetwear. People are embracing it. Then you see people wearing biker shorts and wearing, if it's a jersey, they're wearing it under a jersey for sportswear, functionality. But now it's fashion. So they're serving two purposes at the same time.
True. And now even the ladies want to wear a very big shirt on.
Of course. But in all these, when we talk about fashion, street fashion, streetwear, we can't take out Virgil Abloh, because when it comes to creating this high fashion streetwear, he has played a vital role.
100%.
As fashion designers, when you see how streetwear started and how Virgil made it into his own for the world to embrace it, how do you feel in terms of designers? What impact did he make? Did his impact resonate well with people? Did people understand what he was trying to communicate with the world? So I'll take Brent and I'll take yours.
I think Virgil is coming from that kind of culture set.
Yeah.
If you look at Virgil's background, there is music in there.
True.
Core music.
And his friend Kanye West.
You see,
Yeah.
music, DJing, and the brand he also probably represents. He was with LV. And LV is part of the street culture vibe. You mentioned Adidas, you mentioned Balenciaga, Supreme. These are brands that are sold into because they have the target for that young at heart within the age of that 30, that column. And there are people who match into the streetwear. So Virgil, where the brand is, I'm not sure if probably Virgil was with a brand like, I don't mention a very top brand. The
Maybe
streetwear
Louis
thing will come
Vuitton.
in. Louis Vuitton has a section of that.
Yeah.
They do the streetwear.
Yeah.
So where he finds himself, he's doing the streetwear.
True.
And his core interest is in there. Everything Virgil does, it shows clearly that he is a music lover.
Yeah.
He's more into, because there are a lot of, he even designs skateboards.
Yeah.
And there are times some of the shows are skateboards on the runway, even though he was still inculcating the Ghanaian thing.
Yeah.
His last collection with LV, we saw the rap cloth Kente still with the Louis V in there.
Yeah.
So this is somebody who tried to inculcate. So if we have that culture here, or probably we have that style, and we have people, the market value for the streetwear. I'm a businessman, I'm a fashion designer, I'm a businessman. I look at where probably will bring me money. How many Ghanaians are into skateboarding?
Yeah.
How many Ghanaians are into pop culture that will probably even buy what I'm doing?
Yeah.
The brands that are probably doing pop culture, like the Sack and Co., where did their brand get to? The Sack where? For Bravo 04.
Yeah.
Just mention. It is very hard to maintain such brands here. The brands that will probably go into the streetwear. So all these things come in line. But with Virgil, they are
It seems the world understood what he
Good.
was trying to do.
Yes.
So is it like our own Sack, what he was trying to do? What happened with his? Because it was strictly street fashion,
Sure.
streetwear, and is it that people really didn't understand, or the market at that time wasn't conducive enough for that brand?
Let's even talk about quality, because a lot of
Good.
people
I wanted to
are
mention
talking about-
that. So I wanted to talk about this, the Sack thing. Look at the age bracket that Sack wear was targeting. But the Sack brand was a luxury brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
True.
came-
With the prices.
So with the price and how can
Probably
and
not
I'm
able to
sure
purchase.
it wasn't it was more like a business. 'Cause I know the lady handling the Sack brand was Yasmin. So it was a very luxury brand. If you see the quality of the clothes that were producing, trust me, it was top notch. And the age bracket, I don't think they could afford.
For that.
So there was a little bit of problem in there.
Because there's been a lot of growth. I mean, when you just brought in the Sack thing, I remember back in Tama, you see everybody wearing, or any SHS student, you see this, was this shirt with African map
Is it
Amakepe.
Amakepe?
You see everybody wearing that.
I
It was there
remember
for a
that.
while, and then it changed into. I mean,
I
it just
think
vanished.
G Black had something to do with
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
we used it for
Yeah.
a video,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And that's why it sticks. So for people who have followings like that, if I guess if SAC was really trying to get to his audience, the SAC natives, it could have been very affordable,
Yeah.
you know, so that everybody can jump.
purchase it, yeah.
Yeah,
In general, is it even affordable? Is it street fashion lucrative for designers? I'm trying to understand
As in,
why.
do
a
they
lot
get
of-
money
Yes, and
Yes.
because
Yes.
we don't have a lot of designers
In
going-
Ghana,
Yeah,
or
in Ghana.
In
yes.
Ghana, that's what I'm
Doing
saying.
the
Our
street
culture
fashion.
also limits us probably
Okay.
into
Yeah.
using. There are some brands that are doing it, but trust me, I don't think it's that high.
High.
And
I would
there are
love
there
to
are
see
there
a
are-
brand here.
there are types
fashion.
of street fashion that's like we mentioned the tech. Those who are probably doing the techs, they are doing high level, and they are the hyper beast. Those are the top brands. The Pradas and Balenciaga. They are doing very very expensive streetwear. The celebrities turn up to
Then
wear.
some of us cannot
Kanye
afford.
goes into those things. Those ones, trust me, you can. But you can find an Adidas or probably a Nike very affordable, and the normal youth in that age bracket can afford it. Still give that street statement.
Let's
Okay,
bring it
so-
to our designers in Ghana here.
Designers in Ghana.
Yes,
Bello.
Bello.
Who are Bello? Designers in Ghana.
I do quite a number of
Yeah.
Yeah.
streetwears. Like the typical example is the hoodie
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spoke of. So I will just relate it to myself.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it was quite new, but everybody loved it. To be honest, we made quite some very good money out of it.
But I'm very sure the people are purchasing Bello might probably a lot of outsiders.
I was
Yes.
coming to that.
Yes.
There wasn't Ghanaians.
That's even
I mean, Ghanaians in here.
That's even, Ghanaians in here. To be honest, most of them would always come
When
and
they are
be
traveling.
Like, oh, what do you say?
When they are traveling, they do
Yeah, when
probably.
they are traveling.
Okay.
That is only when they want to get
Oh,
it.
Neboya here. When you mentioned the price,
Oh, Nembuani there, we've always had that issue.
Was it that
We've always had
expensive?
that. It wasn't expensive.
Like how much?
It doesn't break their pockets.
Right.
It doesn't break their pockets.
It doesn't break. You see, they can say that it is very
doesn't at all.
luxurious.
They will
it's
say it's affordable, but it's not that affordable.
You will
But then what really is it? Do Ghanaians appreciate our own? As saying, you know, we're talking about these hoodies and stuff, which, you know, you were even saying that it's not really it's not our kind of worth and all that. But then at the end of the day, sometimes if it's affordable, they end up purchasing it and all that. Is it that they don't have other alternatives like, okay, fashion designers in Ghana are unable to do something of our own culture or our own background and then bring it out so that, you know, Ghanaians will pay. So is it because we lack alternatives or we lack options? That is why we are unable to, or we follow this kind of trends that is not really Ghanaian.
I don't think we lack options. Trust me, there are a lot of creative designers around, mind-blowing creatives, producing marvelous things. Just that, yes, we are a fashion-growing nation. We are getting there. We are not there yet. So it will take time. As I always say, gone are the days you don't see probably Ghanaians, celebs going on the red carpet to mention Ghanaian brands. But now they are doing it. They'll probably turn out to mention a foreign brand, feeling proud that they are wearing, forgetting that the person who is mentioned outside that you are seeing is promoting the brand.
True.
But now it is getting better. And people watch TV. Let's take VJMA, for instance, red carpet. A lot of people are watching it.
Yeah.
We mention a brand, people turn out to follow the brand, check what they are doing, and it transcends to us. So it is getting better. People will call you, I saw this person wearing this, so I want to also. It is getting better. And there are a lot of creative people who are doing marvelous work. Quality products are there. There are ranges. I always say, when you probably take what Bello is wearing, for instance, the zip in there, another person will produce the same thing. There might probably be a different zip. Zip price comes in different, you see trimmings on the shoulder and all that, fabric. Different. So it depends on who is doing it, the kind of brand. If it's tried and tested, you know we are getting something quality from there. You will get something that you can also buy with what you have.
So it's about the quality indeed. But then can we say that, you know, Ghanaian fashion designer give us quality stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
That one, I agree. I agree.
Right.
Things from Ghana. I think I'll speak on behalf of
Okay. Bello, let me we have to fix something for you, but then we'll come back to you. Abrantie, now, when something comes into the market, people overly abuse it. We know. Good or worse, we'll talk about streetwear that has been overly used. I would say that we'll check the best and the worst ones. But then, in general, are people overly abusing streetwear? Because now, the streetwear that we are seeing, sometimes I'll use the artist, for example. I'll use Harriet's favorite, Ashake. Ashake can give some streetwear. I will sit and I won't understand.
Your heart could.
Yes, Ashake can overly dress. It's cool, but sometimes I feel we are overly doing it. As a fashion designer, do you think people are overly abusing street fashion?
I would say no and a big no. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you made mention, you give an example, right? The example you are giving, you're selling a total brand. You're not just
Okay.
selling music.
Okay.
They have to do something
It
for
comes
you to
with
talk.
it, yeah.
It comes
Talk
with it.
about.
Yes.
Oh.
Even here, we don't see anything. If you're probably talking about Ghana, we don't see anything. You just travel to just go to Lagos. Recently, there was Lagos Fashion Week.
Fashion Week, yeah.
See the kind of streetwear there.
People are wearing.
It's crazy. And fashion is said that it's just an expression.
Yeah.
If you love fashion, you just have to express. People express themselves through fashion.
Yes.
So what you are feeling, but most of the time our cultures come in and play a little bit of
Yeah.
hindrance. When people are expressing themselves, knowing where you are coming from, if you think you are probably coming from a place that people will talk about, let's say family,
Yes.
then you should know.
Yeah.
But trust me, the person who is expressing his or herself maybe might probably be feeding the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He or she is wearing what she's wearing and getting paid for it. Take pictures, put on Instagram, mention all the people involved just to get paid.
Yeah.
So
People will do this.
people have to understand certain
Yeah.
things.
Bello, let me ask you. You see, before Black Sheriff, I'm a Black Sheriff fan. Not like I'm coming at you.
I know what you're talking about. That's it.
Black
That's so
Sheriff, the crop top and the jeans that he was in when he was talking about soldier. Can we say that the streets will adapt to it and we will go to Makola? We'll go to.
You have to look at your
It's already there.
Yeah.
Hey, people
To be
wear
honest,
crop top and
it's
jeans.
but like with
It's
what
already
belly?
It is,
Like-
it is a style trend.
It's a
So
body
what,
con-
what Black Sheriff is wearing is from the management.
Okay.
When you look at all the tees on the label Black Sheriff is on, they all dress the same way.
Even
So
look
there's
at
a
Kwame
particular
Eugene now.
stylist.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm using
There's a
now.
particular stylist who is probably doing that.
Oh, but Kwame you do that certain dressing, we don't comment about it. But Black Sheriff, Black Sheriff does, we don't comment. But Kwame Eugene will comment about it. But I
Probably
think
because of the throwback
Yeah.
Over the
stories that
period.
he already has.
Over the
So
period.
everybody will talk about
One
it.
of the
Yeah.
persons who also has a very big influence on the youth, and for him, he's not really under any label that, Kwesi Arthur.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
Kwesi
yes,
Kwesi Arthur
yes,
dresses, and it got to a time he influenced the youth a lot with his
Yes.
dresses,
Yeah.
the Bola thing. He started
Even the
with
shirtless thing.
You
he
know
did
that
one,
shit.
I even copied it. It was a cardigan and he folded it.
Yeah.
How do you fold a cardigan? A cardigan and he folded it. Yes.
And even
So-
you mentioned Ashake. Was it one of the things that was inside out the jeans?
With a zip.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
It's already a brand that
Right.
it is,
So
it is
already
there.
out.
It's there, oh, trust
They
me.
are all there.
Yeah.
So like
But
it's
I
like
know
the house
you.
and-
I know you.
I have a trowel that has the pockets, just like when you turn the whole trowel.
Yes.
Pockets are out.
Yeah.
And it's
I was wearing
fashion.
that. Yes.
But
It's
on,
already
on a
there.
normal
And
day,
they'll be
where,
walking
where
on the
can you wear
streets
those
and-
kind of clothes to?
Right.
On a normal day.
Good. So I'm a designer, so I can probably pass that anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can wear that to the office.
Yes.
But on a
At all.
normal party, wherever you want to find yourself.
And on the streets.
trying to
Right.
on the
Yeah.
street, that is where
Like
that is
your-
where you're
Where you
supposed
can
to.
express
Your
yourself.
outside, your inward pocket is outside.
Yeah.
You know,
It doesn't
some
look
women
like
classify
how you
as
are seeing
improper
it.
dressing.
Yeah.
Even tattered jeans, the one that they
You know, I've
Yeah.
stopped
You
wearing
can't
tattered
wear-
jeans.
Right,
I've
you
stopped
can't-
wearing
you
tattered
see,
jeans
Because
because
people were
Abrante, it's
over-
over.
our
It's-
culture,
it's
like our
overly
culture.
used.
But
That
in
brings
as much
me-
as Helen, sorry, in as much as we want to look modern,
Right.
want to look street,
Yes.
how
Want to be appreciated,
yes,
accepted.
and also not so to lose ourselves in that sense that want to be fashionable, want to make people know, say, yeah, we did.
did,
So
yeah.
you wear something and someone's like, hey, Abadama. I mean, just using that word.
That's how they started
As fashion
clothing and
people,
stuff.
what should we be doing so that we don't get to that stage? Because, yeah, I want to look fashionable,
to
but
draw the line.
Draw the line. Thank you so much.
Yes.
That's why I keep
To
on
both
saying,
of you,
know exactly where you find yourself, where you play. The person who is wearing it, have you really asked the person why is the person wearing that?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's
Shouldn't be a
wearing.
why before.
No. Somebody is wearing to be paid. Why are you also wearing it?
Then if the payments
okay.
come in there, then now,
Somebody's wearing to be paid to set a trend. A designer gives an outfit to, let's say, I make that pants solely for Stoneboy. You see Stoneboy wearing that for a particular period of time. I'm trying to get market for that.
Okay.
So people will turn up to love it. The youth will love
into
it.
People will actually come in and get that.
Yes.
They'll purchase it.
Okay, but then there are times we've seen people wearing stuff at fashion shows, the kind of dress they wear. Sometimes it's nice, but then again, you can't, like, as we were talking about streets and all, you can't wear it to the office, you can't wear it to an event. In fact, you can actually not wear it anywhere, probably just for a fashion show. So when a designer does something like that for someone or for a celebrity, hoping to get market back, how are you going to get the market? Because people might not really purchase it at the
All
end of the day.
markets are not money-wise.
Money-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that very moment, maybe after the whole show, the talk of town is going to be that designer. His name is going to be on all media houses. Somebody has never heard of the brand.
okay.
Somebody will hear about it.
Okay.
So just for that very period, but the name lingers on after the event.
And at the point, it's about you making a statement in that particular outfit. That is why you would go all the way to create it for that specific event. You get it, yeah.
Okay. But then, over the years, I've heard people talk about colors. And talking about colors, there have been times that I've heard people say there's a particular day and the kind of colors you wear. So some say, sometimes maybe red is for Monday, yellow is for Tuesday.
Red on a Monday.
Right. They've arranged it in a certain way. Can you tell us about that if you...
It's my first time hearing word is for Monday.
No, I'm just giving an example
I think colors mostly goes with events
Okay.
and time,
But not
day
for
or night,
days.
not
Okay.
for days. Because some colors suggest black good for night.
Okay.
Because you are probably going out in the evening, night, there will be lights. What colors probably goes well with lights and all that. That's why a lot of people, when it's an evening less, we have the ball gowns and black tie event. People like to wear black and red because it's good with the lights.
Lights.
If it's day, you are wearing bright colors, it's good because there is very nice daylight. Colors can be seen. Aside that, when it comes to probably days, I have no
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
In terms of day and night season, it is well, and where you are probably wearing it to. You can't tell me you are going to the beach and be wearing dark colors. It's a fun
bright
place, it's a
Yeah,
popping
it has to be
place.
colours,
You have to be
loud.
very popping. So some of these colors goes with where you are going.
Yeah.
Okay, and not necessarily
Not
the day.
necessarily.
Then probably it's a
it's
mix.
not, it's not so
'cause-
significant, but
Right.
I think if there's a
Unless you have a
spiritual
personal
aspect-
style.
Yes, spiritual
if there's a
aspect.
spiritual,
that's something that maybe it's a mix.
Unless there's a
Yeah,
spiritual
spiritual
aspect.
aspect, or maybe you have a
Because
personal style. I know
Yeah.
someone who wears only white.
White.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since uni, he's been wearing
Yeah.
white. Everything
Wow.
about him is white. Phone.
Yeah.
When you go to his house, it's
Unless,
TV.
unless there's
Everything
a
is white.
spiritual backing
But-
or
so
So
something
people turn out to
in
do
relation
things.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then again, sometimes there's also people who said, okay, when someone, let's say, is plus size, there are colors they should wear. And when someone is also slim or not so thick, there are colors that fit them. What about that? Do we have specific colors depending on the size you are as a person?
It all boils down to how some colors are perceived. In terms of some colors are very loud. You are plus size. Excuse me. You're already loud.
Yeah.
Okay, forgive me. So why do you have to probably wear colors that was you're already drawing attention?
Yeah.
You don't need to do much to show yourself. I think that comes in when it comes to colors. So regards to how you feel and probably skin. If you are
Skin
fair,
color,
if you are fair when you wear dark colors, it looks good on you. If you are dark and wear popping colors, you stand out. So all these things come in. Your skin color tone, your size determines the kind of colors that you don't want. You are supposed to know the colors to go with.
Okay, all right. So
Okay.
going forward, yes.
Yeah, we'll go for a quick commercial break. And when we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Welcome back. It's still Entertainment Review on Metro Television. We've been having an interesting conversation with street fashion, and I think we've gotten to a part where we leave it to Helen to ask our guests what they've been doing and so on and so forth. And there's an upcoming event.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So there's fashion on the Rhythm on the Runway, yes, happening. Can you tell us a bit about that? What exactly will be happening?
So Rhythms on the Runway, I think it's an annual event. That is the 10th edition. Let me put it here. It's the 10th edition. It's happening at AICC, Archangel Conference Center, the Grand Arena. This very Sunday, starts at 5 p.m. And Rhythms on the Runway is designed in such a way that it is both music and fashion come into play. And God being so good, we have World Cup now. So they are inculcating the football part of it. And it's happening on the very day of the opening.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
opening
So
game.
There's going to
yeah.
be
What is
there's
more?
going to be the opening probably at 5 p.m. There's going to be the opening on a very giant screen. After the opening, then probably the fashion show will start.
Okay.
A lot of musicians on board, designers like Custom Look, 1957, Velma Accessories. Amon Abranche the Gentleman is on. So, and a lot of other good designers. Some from outside. We have Pulse from South Africa and some great musicians. And trust me, to me, it is the current best fashion show in Ghana
Okay.
due to one or two reasons by myself. The kind of audience that you see there,
Yeah.
and yes, people who love fashion. So anybody who loves fashion should probably
Yeah.
try. And the tickets are selling now. I think it's 200 for regular and 200 and 400. Yes,
Yeah.
And where
can
can
get a
one
ticket.
get one? If you want.
it is at there are tickets at Sarah Fabric Osu. There is a number to call, but I think when you go to Rhythms on the Runway Instagram
On
page, you
socials.
get all on socials. You get probably all the details there.
I'm-
And it's
I'm-
happening this Sunday. This Sunday.
This Sunday.
I'm
Okay.
excited that it's part of the December in Ghana events by
Sure.
the Ghana
Right.
Tourism Authority, so it gives a lot of eyeballs to it. But as fashion people, at the end of the day, you're part of the creative art space, and the general creative art space is suffering. As designers, I mean, we were talking about the beauty sector a couple of days back, and how there's so much potential in the fact that everybody does makeup. Whether you are going to on stage to sing, movie, you are going for awards, everybody does makeup.
Everytime makeup.
But we
Wear
don't have the
clothes.
attention there. When the minister had the opportunity to speak to the people at the event, he was mentioning Kim Kardashian and all the foreign brands. He never mentioned one Ghanaian brand at the event. As fashion people wear dresses to everywhere. So the attention that you probably need, and maybe government should subsidize you importation of this, that so that you could work together and make some money for yourselves and generally for the creative art space. What do you think, Bello and Abrant here?
Nago.
Your mentor should go.
One thing I always say is if we have that attention on us, trust me, we'll buckle up and we'll be respected. You made mention of the minister appearing at the Makeup Awards,
Ghana
right?
Yeah, the Beauty Awards.
Ghana Beauty Awards. Good. Thank God now we have Ghana Beauty Awards. So at least we are getting somewhere. And kudos to is it Becky, right?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca, yes. Kudos to her. If we have such programs, we have platform like this, hitting more on fashion, just like the way we hear music everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I think it will be a starting point. We'll get somewhere. Then the ministry, the government will probably pay attention because we are always talking about something. Then they know there is more to it, not only makeup. There are people who are probably doing carving.
Yeah.
Who, trust me, there are a lot of art sectors that we don't even hear of. I think when there is light on it, maybe next time your segment should probably bring just the Carving Association. Just bring them. It shouldn't always be clothing, music, makeup. Let's
Yeah,
go
yeah,
down
sure.
and you hear their issues. And trust me, they are watching. So all these things, when it comes up and people talk about these things, there's an attention on us. And someone might say, okay, since there are a lot of programs like this, let me try also put something up. There is Makeup Beauty Awards. Then there were a lot of fashion programs like Slayers TV. There were review on fashion awards, red carpet, but all those things are gone now. So when we have such programs, how many fashion programs do we have on TV and radio?
Yeah.
A mention of music. A lot. Now I see the comedy industry doing well
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there are some comedy shows, events, comedy radio shows, clubs, and all that. Because they know they have their backing now. They're also doing well. So trust me, I'm here. Tomorrow another designer will be here. The next time a cover will be here. A painter will be here. Start talking about all these things. then they will know that, okay, there's a need to probably come together. Let's try and push because we now have the space. We now have people listening to us. From there, the ministry will listen. They will probably hear us. And things like that will help us. I think that is the way forward. More light on what we are doing.
What we are doing.
From the media space also help.
Bello.
He's literally said he won't say anything. Yeah, but there's one particular thing I always talk about the fact that we're all trying to propel Ghana outside. So in a way, this is my personal submission. I feel a lot of fashion designers, just fashion designers, are too much focused on competing among ourselves rather than looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Because there was an Amsterdam show that I was part of. The sad thing about, in a way sad, but is good. After everybody's pulled their A game, the credit didn't go to any of the designers, individual designers. They all said, oh, the Ghanaian team pulled up one of the best shows.
Okay.
So then it brings our mind back to the fact that there's a bigger picture we are supposed to look at, propelling Ghana outside instead of the internal and unnecessary competition we are trying to hold among ourselves inside.
So there should be more collaboration.
A lot. There should be a lot. And I've personally spoken to a couple of designers about this whole collaboration thing. I'm still waiting.
Well,
for the
we'll see
feedback.
how it goes. So I guess it's been a very fruitful one, Helen.
Yes, but just so they could talk a bit about their shows or what you have upcoming, briefly tell us about it then. We can-
Okay. So for myself, business-wise, I have a collection out.
Okay.
Africanism, Colors of Africa. I featured Bello in there in a little bit. And I'm actually showcasing that collection already on the runway. Aside that, I'm into everything men, so I do shirts, I do suits for weddings and all occasions. But my best selling is the art shirts. Art shirts is a shirt combination of print and plains that could probably pass for every corporate place.
Okay.
Every event, being it wedding,
Let's get
being it-
one.
so those wearing the
After the show,
people wearing the Pierre Cardins
Like the
and
lapel.
the normal shirts, they should probably stop that and start wearing that shirt because it's more like ours.
Okay.
Okay. And on socials, Abante the Gentleman.
Abante the gentleman. Abante the gentleman.
Bello.
Yeah, so I'm also out with a new collection, which I named after my father, the Kweku Bako collection, which talks more about the gentleman. Not necessarily my mentor, but talks about the perfect gentleman. Because even back in the day where fashion was not really that huge, my father would still look good in something like a lapel shirt and all of that. So I decided to come up with a collection in his name, even though that's why I did the collection because he passed away. So I had to just use his name just to
Memory of
to
your
remember
late
him
father.
and all of that, yes.
And how's
And I've
it
also
going so
just
far?
released, in the Kweku Bako collection, there's a luxury kaftan that's can be used for weddings, engagements.
Luxury.
all
Kaftan,
sorts.
that is luxury.
There is
But don't say it's affordable.
After answer luxury.
And don't say it's affordable.
there's a luxury jalabia in there as well.
Okay.
Yes, and
I think
then
I've seen
there's
that one, yeah.
there's a new T-shirt collection with pants, but in different colors and all of
I
that.
hope they're all doing well.
Yeah.
Very well, extremely well. Trust me.
Right. Yeah, so.
Well, so
it's been a
I
good
guess
one.
we thank you for coming. And the luxury jalabia, I'll get on with Shadrach because it needs a lot to be able to.
Okay, so thank you guys for coming in. Tomorrow we'll be back. Up next is News Flash. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
Really happy to say.